A nocturne is usually a musical composition that is inspired by, or evocative of, the night. Historically, nocturne is a very old term applied to night offices and, since the Middle Ages, to divisions in the canonical hour of Matins. History: the name nocturne was first applied to pieces in the 18th century, when it indicated an ensemble piece in several movements, normally played for an evening party and then laid aside. Sometimes it carried the Italian equivalent, notturno, such as Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's quadraphonic Notturno and D.K. 286, written for four lightly echoing separated ensembles of paired horns with strings, and his Serenata Notturna, K. 239. At this time, the piece was not necessarily evocative of the night, but might merely be intended for performance that night, much like a serenade. The chief difference between the serenade and the notturno was the time of the evening at which they would typically be performed, the former around 9 p.m., the latter closer to 11 p.m. In its more familiar form as a single-movement character piece usually written for solo piano, the nocturne was cultivated primarily in the 19th century. The first nocturnes to be written under the specific title were by the Irish composer John Field, generally viewed as the father of the romantic nocturne that characteristically features a cantabile melody over an arpeggiated, even guitar-like accompaniment. However, the most famous exponent of the form was Frau copyright Dauer copyright Rick Chopin, who wrote 21 of them. One of the most famous pieces of 19th-century salon music was the Fifth Nocturne of Ignaz Leibsch, who is now otherwise mostly forgotten. Later composers to write nocturnes for the piano include Gabriel Fauré copyright, Alexander Scriabine, Erik Satie, Francis Poulenc, as well as Peter Sculthorpe. In the movement entitled The Night's Music of Out of Doors for solo piano, Bach copyright La Bartók cubed K imitated the sounds of nature. It contains quiet, eerie, blurred cluster chords and imitations of the twittering of birds and croaking of nocturnal creatures, with lonely melodies in contrasting sections. American composer Lowell Lieberman has written 11 nocturnes for piano. Other notable nocturnes from the 20th century include those from Michael Glenn Williams, Samuel Barber and Robert Helps. Other examples of nocturnes include the one for orchestra from Felix Mendelssohn's incidental music for A Midsummer Night's Dream, the set of 3 for orchestra and female choir by Claude Debussy and the first movement of the Violin Concerto No. 1 by Dmitri Shostakovich. French composer Erik Satie composed a series of 5 small nocturnes. These were, however, far different from those of Field and Chopin. In 1958, Benjamin Britten wrote a nocturne for tenor, 7 obbligato instruments and strings. Nocturnes are generally thought of as being tranquil, often expressive and lyrical, and sometimes rather gloomy, but in practice pieces with the name nocturne have conveyed a variety of moods. The second of Debussy's orchestral nocturnes, Fartesse, for example, is very lively, as are parts of Karol Szymanowski's Nocturne and Tarantella and Kazimierz Sapiegi's symphonic nocturne for piano alone. Principal composers of nocturnes: Charles Valentin Alkan, 5 for solo piano. Anton Stepanovich Arensky, 2 nocturnes for piano, each part of the set, number 1 from 6 pieces, Op. 5. Number 3 from 24 characteristic pieces, Op. 36. A nocturne for 2 pianos, number 8 from Variations, Op. 33, Arno Babatunyan, his Nocturne, a lyrical piece in easy listening genre and a song performed by Muslim Magamav, is one of his most popular works. Samuel Barber, the last of 4 songs, for voice and piano, Op. 13 is titled Nocturne, and this song also exists in a version with orchestra. Nocturne, for piano, Op. 33, William Basinski, Nocturnes, Arnold Bax, Nocturnes, for soprano and orchestra, Georges Bizet, Premier Nocturne en Fa major Op. 2 and Nocturne in D major. Frau copyright Dauer copyright Rick Chopin, 21 for solo piano, Carl Czerny, 17 for solo piano, Claude Debussy, 3 for orchestra and choir, 1 for solo piano, Norman Dello Gioio, 2 nocturnes, for piano, Gabriel Fauré copyright 13 for solo piano, John Field, originator of the piano nocturne, wrote 16 of them, Irving Fine, Notturno, for strings and harp, Mikhail Glinka, 3 Nocturnes, E-flat major, La Separation in F minor, La Regrette, Edvard Grieg, the 4th piece of his lyric pieces, Op. 54 is a nocturne, Arthur Honegger, Nocturne for orchestra, Vasily Kalashnikov, Nocturne in Fa. Unregistered trademark minor, for piano, Kevin Keller, 10 Nocturnes for piano and treatments, Ignaz Leibsch, now known only for his 5th Nocturne, Lowell Lieberman, 11 for solo piano, Franz Liszt, 1 for solo piano entitled En Rêve, plus his collection of 3 Liebesrecurrenzium, a series of 3 notturnos, of which number 3 is the most famous, Donald Martino, Notturno, for 6 instrumentalists. Felix Mendelssohn Bartholdy wrote the incidental music, for William Shakespeare's play, A Midsummer Night's Dream. Johann Caspar Merz, 3 Nocturnes for guitar, Opus 4. Ernest John Moran, Nocturne, for baritone, chorus, and orchestra, Andrzej Paniewnik, Nocturne for orchestra, Francis Poulenc, 8 for solo piano, Sergei Rachmaninoff, 3 for solo piano, Erik Satie, 5 for solo piano, Clara Schumann, Nocturne in F major Op. 6 No. 2 from Soirée Copywriters Musicals, Robert Schumann, 4 Notster 1/4 CKE, Alexander Scriabin, 4 Nocturnes, including 1 written for the left hand only, Kaikasuru Shapyaji Sorabji, over 30 for solo piano, Maria Agata Simonowska, Nocturne in B-flat and Nocturne La Murmur, Alexander Tansman, 4 Nocturnes, for piano, Egid Varese, Nocturnal, for soprano, bass, chorus, and small orchestra, and Nocturnal 2, for soprano, flute, oboe, clarinet, 1 or 2 trumpets, 2 trombones, percussion, and double bass, Ralph Vaughan Williams, 3 Nocturnes, for baritone, semi-chorus, and orchestra. Nocturne, the first of 3 poems by Walt Whitman, Billy Joel, 1 for his 1971 album Cold Spring Harbor, Warren Zevon, 1 for his 1987 album Sentimental Hygiene. See also, Aubade, a song or instrumental composition concerning, accompanying, or evoking daybreak, night music, nocturnal music of Hungarian composer Bar. Copyright La Barta Cubed K, Nocturne, a 1983 live album by Siouxsie and the Banshees, Nocturne, Blue and Gold. Old Battersea Bridge by Whistler, Notturno, Italian jazz studio album by Claudio Ottaviano Trio released in 2013. Notes. References. Ignore, Harrison James, Mozart and the Duetto Notturno Tradition, Mozart Jahrbuch, 1993. Ignore, Harrison James, Duetto Notturno, The New Grove Dictionary of Music and Musicians London, Macmillan, 2000. Mozart's Notturno and D. K. 286, Chicago Symphony Orchestra Program Notes.